there was no excuse for like you see these core values every single day. Like now we have them. As soon as you walk into our office and you come up the stairs and you look, there's our core values.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the first episode of a series we're going to do about our core values here at Andy's Roofing. And today I have the creator of these core values, the owner of Andy's Roofing. Let's just dive in and talk about why you created each core value. We'll break it down one by one. But tell me why you even want to talk about these. What is it that you wanted to talk about?
Well, our company is growing quite a bit. And as we grow, we need more amazing people to come on board. And I have a certain set of beliefs, values, things that I want to see because whenever I started the company, it was because I had worked at companies previously, and there was just these like major gaps in what I saw in the roofing industry specifically for things like professionalism and just communication and just all of these things. And I made a list of all of those things, and I was like, I started Andy's Roofing out of necessity. If anybody knows the story, like I had to start it. And it was like, if we're going to do this, we're going to be the best roofing company that ever existed. And the secret sauce is going to be these things. And these things became our core values. And all of those things it's like all of these things equal one thing. And the one thing is, how do we take care of the homeowner the best? And that is, really, that is the core values. And that is what we're going to talk about is just like, we know we'll always have job security if we align all of these things with what the homeowner wants and how we can take care of them the best.
And then when you originally wrote these, some of them are still up on the wall at the office. What did you write them on? Because we didn't get fancy, and they are on the walls very nice and pretty now, but the OG ones are still up there.
Yeah, so I like to put things in front of me that remind me, and a lot of people use Post-it notes on their desk, and I did not have the graphic designer or all the cool stuff that we have now, and so I bought these massive Post-it notes, and we put them up on the walls, and I put them everywhere. Like, I remember like taking the notepad and it's what, 2 feet by 3 feet
it's
or
huge.
Something. Yeah. And they're big yellow Post-it notes. And I would write the exact same thing on them. I would put our core values on there. And then I did like 4 or 5 different sets, and I'd put them in the sales room, in the main room, in the production room, in the offices, everything, just so people, like, there was no excuse for like, you see these core values every single day. Like now we have them. As soon as you walk into our office and you come up the stairs and you look, there's our core values. Like that's what we're about.
Yeah. So what is the first one? Let's dive right into it here.
So the first core value at Andy's Roofing, I have a funny story about the first one. So I think it was Tim Grover that trained Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant and different people. And there was like a list of things that were the most important. And so when we talk about our first core value, every single one of these core values is number one.
Yeah.
And this is the first one if we were going to list them down to 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you come to me on any day, there is none of these that are less important than the other. But for our talks, the first one that we're going to talk about is be professional. And
that's pretty broad.
Yeah, it's very broad. And that is, I guess that sparked some of this is we needed to really explain what the secret sauce of Andy's Roofing is under this core value and share it with not just our current employees, but prospective employees. As I was saying before, like as we grow, we want to bring in people that share our core values or that we can share our core values with and they can align with those. And I just have a very deep conviction around these core values and be professional. If we would just start listing it out, it goes into like if someone was going to show up at my mom's house and my dad wasn't there, there was nobody there, what would I want them to be like? What would I want the experience to be like? and you always take someone that you really deeply care about or is vulnerable or something like that, and you say, if I was a service business, because we are a service business, how would we serve them the best possible way to where they would feel confident in their decision, have options to choose from, and choose it from someone that they knew, like, and trusted? And that is where we took Be Professional. And we started to lay out, if we have a company, what does it look like to be the best, most professional company out there? And so if I would just list, like, the first thing is, like, all of our W-2 employees that come into Andy's Roofing, they're all background checked and drug tested.
That's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. In our industry, it's a really big deal.
Yeah.
So that's just even a step further than that, like our hiring process. Like, we didn't always have this amazing hiring process that we have now with an HRIS system that kind of moves people through the different parts. And now we do, because it was like, if we're bringing people in, we want to make sure that by their first day, all of the paperwork's filled out, the drug test is done, the background check is done, and all of that. So on their first day, we can start giving them the best experience possible by starting to train them and take care of them and really show them the culture that we've created and ultimately our core values on that first day. So that is like, if you were going to have a company and you wanted it to be professional, we would want these people to have the basic level of understanding of, like, I mean, really, if I'm sending out to a homeowner, like, to be professional means that these people are not scrubs.
Yeah.
You know, like they are, I wouldn't even say professionals, like they meet the minimum criteria to be an employee at Andy's Roofing. And so just thinking about that, like, to have a professional company, you need some kind of HR. Then when they come in, you need some kind of a training process. And so to make sure that we have people that are going out and saying the same things and acting the same and being professional, we bring them in and we give them standard attire. Okay, so everyone has a uniform that they wear at Andy's Roofing, and we delineate that a couple of different ways. So you have the sales uniform, and we have the production uniform, and then we have office girls or guys that work in the office, and they kind of get to mix just a little bit. They get a little bit of poetic license there, but it's all black shirts for production. They wear the exact same black belt. They wear the exact pair of jeans. They wear exact shoes, the Samaro boots that we use. And then on the sales side, when the sales guys come in, when you're in training, you wear a long sleeve or a short sleeve T-shirt because you have not earned your green polo shirt yet.
The green polo is a big deal.
It is a big deal.
The production guys, they get theirs day one, right? But the sales guys, it's like sales guys and girls, it's like an honor. It's like a trophy.
I'm very passionate about it because you are, other than Deb or any CSR that works for us, like, people call in. Deb sets the expectation for what that sales rep is going to do when they come out to the home. But when that sales rep goes out there, they are the first face-to-face contact that anyone has had with our company.
Yeah.
So if you are at the front door as a homeowner and you open the door, what do you want to see?
Somebody that you can trust.
Yeah. So, I mean, this may not be a timeless thing because I'm referencing it, but, like, we just had a storm recently, and so all these interesting individuals come in town and they're knocking on people's doors and they look like scrubs and they're wearing hey dudes and board shorts and T-shirts and they're going up and saying, "Can I climb on your roof?" "Oh, I forgot my ladder." You know, like,
there's a storm in town when you drive by, like, Red Roof Inn, Holiday Inn, and there's just a bunch of trucks with ladders on it standing there. Like, yeah, they're not.
Yeah, they're not local. So
back to your uniform though, because me and you just did an interview the other day. And he actually, like, giggled and laughed because he's like, "I've never heard of a company that does this." And me and you were talking about it in the truck yesterday. Is like, why? Is it money? They don't want to spend the money on it? Is it nobody just thinks about that stuff? It seems pretty normal, but it's people don't do it.
I don't know. See, like, I've obsessed over this stuff, and I say obsessed, like, I've thought of every little thing, and I've went to the best companies. Like, I just listened to another podcast about Chick-fil-A. There's a girl that wrote 2 books, and I'm reading one because she went on EntreLeadership with Dave Ramsey, and she was talking about it, and then he referenced her book, and so I got it, and it was about hospitality and customer service, and, like, I obsess over that stuff. And just all of the different components and the pieces that go into an employee, like why would you not give them every tool to be successful from the get-go? And they're like, well, we want to make sure that they work out and yada, yada, yada. Yeah, there's an element of that, but that should have been figured out before you hired them.
Yeah.
That should have been in the interview process. Like, we want people to know what they're getting into. And so there's a ride-along day that before you're even hired, we send you out with either a sales rep or production person, or you can do shadowing in the office, and you get to see what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Because we want the right kind of people in our company, and we want them to be invested in what we're doing. But then when they come in, like the uniform, I mean, why would you not give people all of the uniform and all of the things to be successful
And
right out of the gate?
Let's dive in. Like, a sales guy or girl will get hired. They will get 5 pairs of jeans. They will get probably 6, 7, 8 green shirts. They will get their shoes. They will get everything that they need. And it's like, we're not just giving you a pair of pants and a shirt and you can wear it. Like, our team here at Andy's Media, 5 pairs of pants, 5 shirts, socks that say the company. Like, he laughed because it was just like, he thought he was going to get the interview. He was like going to get, a shirt and pants, but no, like we provide these. This is something we provide.
Yeah. And, I don't think it's really control, but it's just like, man, if
I think it's because you don't want to do laundry. You're like, you know what? I'm thinking about this.
Yeah. So, I mean, to be honest, I've even said it out loud before. It's just like, so like my wife does the laundry, but I don't want her to have to do the laundry like on Wednesday or Thursday because I only had 2 or 3 work shirts. So we give 5 of those so that like if you do the laundry on the weekends or whatever, you can cycle through all those. Like, why would you put an extra burden on the household? Let's say that you're the man, you do the laundry, then like you got to think about that. Like, you can't focus on your work or going back to it like the next day because you're like, oh, well, if I don't do laundry, I can't perform at my job.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. Like, we need to take all of those excuses away and just be like, hey, like, you have every tool to be successful. Like, your apparel is perfect. Like, when the guy's shoes, like, this is the exact pair of shoes that they wear. Like, I don't know how far you want to go into the apparel. So, like,
as I said, we need to get back. We could do a whole episode on that, but we need to get back to the professional.
No, let's talk about it, okay? Like, you went down this road. So, like, the sales reps wear a very specific pair of jeans because I went through American Eagle jeans. There was a bunch of different ones that we went through, and I would tear out the middle part of the jeans because when you're walking around on roofs and you got to squat down a lot to take pictures and look at different things, you would eventually just like you tear out the crotch of the jeans. And I'm like, we need really stretchy jeans that like they stretch really good. So I tried out, oh my gosh, probably 10 pairs of jeans and like expensive ones and nice ones and all this other stuff to figure out one, what was scalable to where like when the office girl, like when we say, hey, we have a new employee, they're a salesperson, we need to order these, like we can keep ordering them because they're not going to go out of style. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, we do that a lot, unfortunately. So we're on the same wavelength. But then the belt, it's orderable, like it's never going to go out of style. And then the shirts, we just, we keep all of this in inventory for new people to come in, and it's scalable because it's repeatable.
Yep.
And once something's repeatable, then you can take it and you can build off of that. And that's actually one of our core values as well. But, yeah, man, no, like even down to the shoes. So I tried all these different shoes, and I was like, when a sales rep shows up at my mom's house, I want them to look professional. I don't want them to be wearing tennis shoes or something that doesn't match their uniform. And God forbid they just wouldn't have a uniform on. But it's like then when they come into the office and the sales rep talks to the other sales rep, like you're in sales, like in case you guys didn't know this, if you're in production, you're still in sales. Like everyone is selling your ability to be competent, intelligent, having a good day, all of these things to the other person every time you interact with someone. So I want that sales rep, when he's looking at another sales rep or he's looking at a homeowner, I want a consistent visual appeal for that person. That way it's like, hey, we're all the same here in the office. And when we go out to homeowners, they are the first representation of Andy's Roofing. I want them to look professional. So like, we're not dressing down to go to work.
Yeah.
So they wear dress shoes. And I went through probably close to 10 pairs of dress shoes to find the perfect one because they can't just look good. They've got to have soft rubber on the bottom that will be able to bite into the roof, but not enough to where when it gets 100 degrees outside, when they turn their foot, that's too aggressive on the bottom. Like there's some nice dress shoes we talked about going to, and I actually bought a pair of them recently just to try them out, but they were too aggressive. And so like they have to be more smooth, but the rubber has to be really soft on the bottom. So we came up with these Clark dress shoes and we started using them, and they are scalable. Like they're always in stock and everything. And they're nice and they do the job. And we buy them probably 1 to 2 pairs a year for each sales rep because the rubber is soft. But up to an 8-12 pitch, which is starting to get steep, they don't need their Cougar paws, which is their like super grippy, foamy shoes. And they get those as well. Everybody gets a pair of Cougar paws. Like they got to have that because I want them to have the tools to where they can walk on steep roofs and not hurt themselves. So Cougar paws, pitch hoppers, there's this thing called a goat. It's like this long thing with a little hook on it that you put over the ridge. Whatever they need to be successful, we will provide it for them, because the only thing I can't teach is work ethic. If people don't have that, I mean, it's hard. It's a little harder to decipher on the front end, but like if you're a hard worker and you're halfway intelligent, I will teach you my process, and then you can just follow the process and you will be successful 100% in Andy's Roofing.
And that's a good point to go into I'll let you think about what you're going to talk about professional next. But the core values of Andy's Roofing, we say they're for hiring, they're for firing, and they're for correcting. Everything that we do, it's like the 10 commandments of Andy's Roofing, is going to flow through these. And, you know, if you're not doing one of these, if we have a write-up or what needs to happen with corrections, like we need to be more consistent, or, hey, you didn't wear your Clarks, that needs to be professional. This is not aligning with what we do. So when we say be professional, what is the next thing that you think of most when you have that core value?
Well, just to touch on that. So me as the owner, like man, people think that I'm not oblivious to like how I come across, and sometimes, man, it's awkward and it just like rips my heart out. But like if I walk by you and your shirt's not tucked in and you're a sales rep, I will call you out on it. And I'm not mad at you. There's nothing that I'm not being mean. I'm just saying you are selling to everyone else in this room that you're slothful. Like you just you don't care about, like there's just something going on with you. Like you're not personally aware. You know, like, do you have mints in your truck? You don't go to a homeowner's house and talk to a homeowner and you have like halitosis breath. You know, like that's bad. So we have to be aware of these things of how we come across. And that is just, to me, that's just being professional. Like, hey, look, they called you because they had a specific need. And when you go out there, you have to look the part of someone that they would trust to let into their home. This is your inner sanctum. Like if we were B2B, because we're doing a lot more commercial and we're going to property managers, we're going to commercial buildings, all of these things, like that is in their work element. But we on the residential side, we're going into people's home, their intimate inner sanctum where like their real life happens in their kitchen and their living room, and like they have a leak somewhere. And so we got to go into a closet, all those things. Like our sales reps are there and they're seeing that. You want someone that you trust and is professional enough to come in and talk the part, look the part, and have a process of how to fix that problem correctly. So probably going into the next thing, like I wrote a couple things, even down to just showing up on time. It would amaze you the number of stories that we hear about contractors, because I mean, everything about Andy's Roofing is built to be the best roofing company
For the homeowners too.
I can't control different industries. I can't go and be the best pavement company and all these other things. But like in our little industry, like we want to be the very best roofing company. And so for the homeowner, like they took off work to be there at that time. They are essentially losing money, or maybe it's on their lunch break. They only have a certain amount of time. Like, and then you get roofing companies that say, we'll be there between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. and we'll put the carbon copy contract in the bottom of the mailbox, and you just give us a call when you want to use us.
Yeah, any industry. I mean, I had one the other day. It was like, we'll be there in between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. You know how inconvenient that is for a homeowner? I mean, I have to check the ring, or I'll be there in 15 minutes. I still have to be, like, it's so inconvenient.
No, recently, I had to wait around for a guy for 2 hours, and then he canceled the appointment. And it was just like, that was actually an insurance adjuster. They're notorious for that. So like that could be something that the insurance industry could work on, is just like showing up instead of giving time blocks. But like just that kind of stuff is like, if I was a homeowner, what would I want? Well, I'd want a specific time that they showed up to. And so going before that, like we call ahead, we let them know. And like if my guy is 1 minute late, that homeowner is standing there waiting for them. Like their time is the most valuable thing in the world, because homeowners sign our paychecks. Like If you are a service business and you are not aware of that, the homeowner signs your paycheck. It is not me. I may be the business owner for Andy's Roofing. I am managing funds that the homeowners gave to our company. If we do not keep that as an industry or as a service industry as a whole, that like these people are the most important thing that ever existed for a service business, because the market decides if you stay in business. You have to constantly be evolving, building processes, doing all of the things in your business to make sure that the homeowner is at the forefront. It's so important. And so like to be professional, like to go to the next thing is how we talk, okay? Like we have fun, we cut up, we do all kinds of things. But when we go out to a homeowner's house, they did not call us to be our best friend. I mean, I want to have a great relationship. I still have people calling me from 5 years ago. I've developed really good relationships with the people that we've done work for in the past. But the reason they called you is because they had a problem. You know, unless it was a personal friend or whatever. Like if they called off the internet, if they called off this, they called because they had a specific problem and they had enough faith to pick up the phone and call you. And so we have to take that faith that they had in us and say, I will be the best possible roofing repair consultant or roofing repair technician or production person that ever existed for this homeowner because they chose me.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. And people don't think about it like, oh, yeah. You know, I mean, we get down in the weeds. You're getting, 500 leads a week. Every one of those is a homeowner that put their trust in Andy's Roofing and said, we want to use them because there was either a predisposition, like trust that they had in us from all of the giveaways and the Habitat for Humanity stuff that we do and all that. Or it's just like we looked on the internet and we clicked a name. Like even then they spent their time to call you. Yep. Or fill out a form or whatever. And so like, it's just like when I show up, you better be the best because the market decides if you're worthy. The homeowner decides if you're worthy. And they've decided that we are worthy. Yeah. But it's a constant battle. You have to constantly be putting their needs first. So how you talk is a byproduct of your process. And so I've been on so many sales appointments and I've looked at so many roofs and I've talked to so many homeowners that we took all of that back and we said, here's a consistent behavior that people have. They have a problem. They need a solution. The solution we've run in, or the problem we've run into so much, we're professionals at fixing that problem. Yep. And that could be roof replacement, roof repair, gutters, siding. I mean, there's just a myriad of things that we do now that we are very, very good at.
And that's the thing about professionalism too. Like, yes, we have added some things, but we are roofers. And when you get into that and a hailstorm hits, to service, we needed to do siding, but we're not a jack of all trades. We are really good at roofing. I fought it
for so long to even do siding. I mean, I wanted to be known for one thing. And I mean, you're doing 1,000 roofs a year. Like you're kind of known for that one thing. Like that's what we do in residential is we do a lot of roofs. But are you serving the homeowner the best if you don't have a repairs department that does repairs? And I would say no.
Yeah.
But if you're a small roofing company, you can't afford the overhead to do that in-house. So there's a time and a place, and this is something for my personal brand and something that we're pushing forward to like talk about is like there's different stages of the growth and people and support that you can afford to be able to do. But like to serve the homeowner the best, during a hailstorm, it's a different market than if it was just a retail job where you like they called you for a roof replacement, you came and you did the roof replacement. Like they have a roof, siding, gutters that are damaged. And for the first 2 or 3 years, I didn't do siding. And I just told them I don't do that because we don't specialize in it. Like we can't serve you the best possible way.
Yeah.
But the whole time I'm saying that, I'm like, man, we have got to be able to do this, but do it at such a high level. Because I don't like to halfway do anything.
No.
So now we have the support. We hired people in, like people that were very loyal to me over the years. One of our distributor reps, like he was very loyal to me. He knew how to do siding very well. He did all the takeoffs for all the roofing contractors because they didn't really know how to do siding. And so we got him on board and he works on our production department. He trained all of our sales reps, our sales manager. We do reinforcement training. And then we have processes documented and built out for siding now. And then we told people that we did it. And that was just one of those things. Like, if you can find a crew to do something, it doesn't mean you do it well. Yeah. It's not professional. And so that is just like going back to how we talk at Andy's Roofing. The byproduct of it is that I had all these experiences, and we built processes and just ways that we interact with homeowners to talk in a professional manner, to where it's like, hey, I know you have a problem. Here's options for a solution. We want to take care of you the best possible way. And we talked about sales, but on the production side, there's a handoff between sales and production. And if you are the sales rep and you're managing the production part, it's a little bit better, but it hurts you, because if you're managing the job, the homeowner on the other project, they're not going to be able to get a hold of you because you're doing all these and you're juggling all these things. So I would say that that's not very professional once you grow to have one doing the other's job, because then he can't communicate well with the people that he's ultimately trying to inspect and estimate and get deals with. So like that part, as we grew the company, was just like professional communication comes back to how we relay the process that we've grinded over documenting and building and tweaking, and it will never end. Like as we scale, like we're just continuing to add new people. I mean, now we hired a girl just to handle 2 or 3 little parts of the process, because there's so much flowing through that process. And that, like, that level of professionalism, like, I mean, we're not perfect. We're still figuring it out like everybody else. But I like to tell everybody in the office, we have a lot of good problems. We have problems we created.
And that's a good thing. Do you have any other 1 or 2 things you want to end on professionalism, being professional? It's a classic Ethan thing to do, to get ranting, and it's great because he's so passionate about it. But like,
they keep me off the podcast because I can go 3 hours, but then I start bleeding into the other ones, because all of them, it's like you take one ingredient and it's not good. But then when you mix it with all these other ones, it could be a math equation. All of these things equal X, and X is homeowner satisfaction. I got a tongue twister there.
I'm not cutting that out either.
Homeowner satisfaction. Okay, I got it right. And really just giving them the best. Like it's like this, such a conviction for me that like the homeowner needs the best. And what we do over here with these core values is like, just the first one is be professional. And it's like, it's so important that we all talk the same and we walk the same and we do the same thing, because the next core value we're going to talk about is consistency. And like, we cannot build something great. We cannot build the best roofing company in the world unless everybody is doing the same thing. And then we can take it and we can tweak it. If you're doing all these different outcomes and it's like we're trying to get a straight line and all these people right at the beginning are veering off and doing their own thing, you never get an average and say, hey, look, let's tweak one little thing. And we've been able and blessed, and just we've attracted some of the most amazing talent I've ever seen, such as you and different people off camera here, like that we can take this group of people and we can build the best roofing company with the best customer experience, with the best product and service and warranties and communication and all these things. And we can scale it and we can serve more homeowners, because you can't serve more homeowners until you build infrastructure. And that comes from a group of people that are all talking and walking and doing and believing the same thing, and how we help homeowners.
And that's so good. And that was the first episode in a series of all of our core values. We want to post these so that either maybe you're searching for a roofer to hire or a roofer company to go work for. You can watch all of these and be like, this is a company I trust. So thanks for tuning in to episode 1, and we will be doing episode 2 on consistency shortly.